p.m. Ignite passion and motivation.
Introduction.
Have you ever wondered what distinguishes remarkably successful individuals from those who lead ordinary lives? The answer lies not in luck or circumstances, but rather in aspiration and persistent pursuit of ambitious goals. Visionaries like Henry Ford and John D. Rockefeller began with seemingly impossible dreams, yet transformed them into reality through unwavering determination and resilience. They understood that the greater the goal, the greater the wealth, and that in life, you're either planning for success or inadvertently preparing for failure. The letter below will unveil invaluable insights on cultivating a leader's mindset, establishing ambitious objectives, and maintaining the steadfast commitment required to achieve them. Priceless lessons from those who have reached the pinnacle of success. Letter 19. Insist to be the first. Wealth is directly proportional to goal. One is either planning to succeed or planning to fail. March 15, 1931. Dear John, a person without ambition will not accomplish great things. This is what my friend, the automobile king, Mr. Henry Ford, confided to me as the secret of success when he came to see me yesterday. I admire this rich man from Michigan very much. He is a persistent and determined guy. He has almost the same experience as mine. He has worked in farming, worked as an apprentice, and started a factory in partnership with others. Through his struggle, he eventually became one of the richest people in the United States of this era. In my opinion, Mr. Ford is the creator of a new era. No American can completely change the American way of life like him. Just look at the cars that go back and forth on the street, and you know that I am definitely not complimenting him blindly. He has turned a car from a luxury into a necessity that almost everyone can afford. And the miracle he created turned him into a billionaire. Of course, he also made my wealth grow a lot. A person must have goals or ambitions to live. Otherwise, he is like a ship without a rudder, drifting forever, and will only reach the beach of disappointment, failure, and frustration. Mr. Ford's ambition exceeds his height, and he wants to create a world where everyone can enjoy cars. This may seem unimaginable, but he succeeded. He became the owner of the global car market, and made amazing profits for Ford. In the words of this guy, it's not making cars, it's printing money. It is not difficult for me to imagine why Mr. Ford, in a good mood with his wealthy pockets and the reputation of automobile king. The achievements that Ford created proved one of my life credos. Wealth is proportional to goals. If you have big ambitions and big goals, your mountain of wealth will rise to the sky. If you just want to pass by, then you will end up in the rat race, or even nothing. Even if the wealth is close to you, you will only get a little bit of it. Before Mr. Ford succeeded, there were many automakers that were much stronger than him, but many of them went bankrupt. People are created for a purpose. A person is either planning to succeed or planning to fail. This is the experience of my life. I never seem to lack ambition. Since I was very young, to become the richest person has always been my impulsive ambition and dream. This seems a bit too big for a poor boy, but I think the goal must be great, because if you want to be successful, there must be stimulation. A great goal can enable you to exert all your strength, and there will be stimulation. Losing the excitement means that there is no strong force to push you forward. I often remind myself to not make any small plans, because it cannot inspire the soul. Of course, the opportunity to become great is not like the rapid decline of the Niagara Falls, but slowly, one drop at a time. The difference between greatness and close to greatness is the realization that if you expect greatness, you must work toward your goals every day. But for a poor boy, how can this great dream become a tangible reality? Should it be achieved by working hard for others? This is a stupid idea. I believe that working hard for myself will make me rich, but I do not believe that working hard for others will make me successful. Before I lived in Billionaires Row, 57th Street in Manhattan, I discovered that by my side, many poor people are the hardest working people. The reality is so cruel. Regardless of whether employees work hard or not, few people work for their bosses to become rich. The salary earned by working for the boss can only keep the employee alive under reasonable expectations. Although the employee may make a lot of money, it is difficult to become rich. I have always regarded working hard to get rich as a lie, and never regarded working for others as a good way to accumulate considerable wealth. On the contrary, I am very convinced that working for myself can make me rich. All the actions I take are aligned to my great dream and the various goals that I continue to achieve in order to reach my goal. When I left school and looked for a job, I set myself a goal to go to a first-class company, to become a first-class employee, because a first-class company will give me first-class experience, shape my first-class ability, let me grow a first-class insight, and make me a handsome income. That is the capital to create my future business, and all of this is undoubtedly the most solid cornerstone of my road to success. Of course, working in a big company allows me to think about problems in a big company's way. This is very important. Therefore, I admire big companies, and I want to go to high-profile companies. However, this is destined to make me suffer. I first went to a bank. I was very unlucky and was rejected. I went to a railway company again, but I still returned home in grief. The weather at that time seemed to be against me, and the heat was unbearable. But desperately, I kept searching. During that period, looking for a job became my only occupation. At 8 o'clock every morning, I tried my best to dress myself up, and then I left my residence to start a new round of appointment interviews. For several weeks, I ran the companies on the list, but I still found nothing. This looks terrible, doesn't it? But no one can stop you from moving forward. The person who hinders you the most is yourself. You are the only one who can go on forever. I warned myself, if you do not want others to steal your dreams, then you stand up immediately after being knocked down by setbacks. I was not frustrated or discouraged, but continuous setbacks strengthened my determination. I started from scratch again, running one by one, and a few companies even let me run 2 or 3 times. God never abandoned me. This indomitable job-hunting journey finally ended in one afternoon 6 weeks later. On September 26, 1855, I was hired by the Hewitt-Tuttle Company. This day seemed to determine everything in my future. To this day, whenever I ask myself what would happen if I did not get the job, I often tremble all over. Because I know what I got from that job and what will happen to me without it. Therefore, I have celebrated September 26th as a rebirth birthday all my life, and I have more emotions for this day than my birthday. At this point, I am moved by myself. Humans function like a bicycle. Unless you move up and forward towards the target, you will stagger and fall. 3 years later, I left the Hewitt-Tuttle Company with abilities and self-confidence beyond ordinary people, and co-founded Clark, Rockefeller with Mr. Clark, and started the history of working for myself. Stupidly hard work may still get nothing after all the hard work, but if you think of working hard for your boss as a ladder to serve yourself one day, it is undoubtedly the beginning of wealth creation. The feeling of being your own boss is so great, it is beyond words. Of course, I cannot always be immersed in the pride of being amongst the trade agents at the age of 18. I warned myself, your future depends on the days that pass by. Your end goal in life is to be the richest man in the United States. Where are you? It is still far, far away. You must continue to work hard for yourself. Being the richest person is the basis for my efforts and the strength to spur myself. In the past few decades, I have always been a believer in the pursuit of excellence. The one sentence I most often motivates myself with is, for me, second place is no different from last place. If you understand it, you will think that it is not surprising that I ruled the oil industry as the indisputable king. Each of us lives in hope, but I live more in the achievement of my goals. My goal in life is to be the number one. This is also the life plan that I try to make and abide by. All my efforts and actions are loyal to my life goals and life rules. God gave us smart minds and strong muscles, not to make us losers, but to make us great winners. 20 years ago today, the federal court disbanded our happy family, but whenever I think of the achievements I have created, I get excited. A great life is the process of conquering excellence. We must move forward to this goal, not be afraid of pain, be resolute, and be prepared to fall on the long road. Love. Your father. Conclusion. Life's journey is a relentless pursuit of excellence. Each step represents a decision. Either you're strategically planning for success or unwittingly preparing for failure. Remember that grand aspirations serve as the flame that illuminates your soul and the driving force that propels you beyond your perceived limitations. Extraordinary individuals like Henry Ford and John D. Rockefeller didn't merely dream, they persistently pursued leadership positions, never settling for second place. They comprehended that taking control of one's destiny is the key that unlocks the door to success and prosperity. In today's dynamic world, this philosophy retains its relevance. The greater your objectives, the greater your wealth. This isn't merely rhetoric, but a fundamental principle of life. When you establish goals that transcend your current capabilities, you compel yourself to evolve and ascend to reach them. Don't allow fear or temporary setbacks to impede your progress. Remember that no one can prevent your advancement except yourself. Today, ask yourself, what is my most significant objective? Have I been persistent in pursuing it? Do I have the courage to rise after each stumble? The divine power didn't bestow intelligence and strength upon us to become failures, but rather to emerge as magnificent victors. Remain steadfast in becoming a leader, for a remarkable life invariably begins with remarkable aspirations.